Hey, everybody. We're back. It's been a little while. It's been like a month.
It has been a month.
Been a
I
month.
kind of miss this.
Me too. Honestly, it's nothing makes you want to get back on the pod more than taking a break from it. We were a little burnt out at the end of spring tour. A lot of pods in a very short period of time. I'm sad. Obviously, we had to cancel last week's pod from summer camp because that was fun, but unfortunately, there is non-existent service at that festival. So
we're going to cover that at all? You want to talk about your experience at summer camp?
Yeah, sure. Summer camp was a lot of fun. Of course, Goose's set, one of my favorites of the weekend. Obviously, pretty awesome thatch. I'm still holding on. I'm still holding on to it being the GOAT. It could change with lots of pressure from certain people who are telling me that I'm wrong. But that's neither here nor there.
Certain people, as in everyone?
Everyone who wasn't at summer camp, at least.
Oh, well, that's fair. Okay, so we've established that it's attendance bias.
Yes,
so
exactly. As these things tend to be, it is likely attendance bias. Yes, Ryan Molnar, nice of you to point out. Very great of Neil Francis to be able to pop on today after his Railbird set. Thank you, Neil, for coming here.
It just looked a little bit different on camera. I don't know, man. Well, we're on the topic of thatches. I still think Ryman is the best. But, that's another topic for another pod. It's such a good thatch, but it's such a great song. And we're so lucky that we keep getting all these amazing 20-minute versions that I've been begging for since last year. So what else was good about summer camp? I mean, there's got to be 100 things to say here.
Well, the festival or Goose specifically? Because we're on a Goose podcast here.
We are but you were there. What was the vibe? I mean, what was the
vibe?
The crowd was
like? Were high. The vibes were dusty. It was incredibly dusty over that weekend. But from the stories I've heard from what it's like when it's rainy, I will take the dust any day of the week. Dust doesn't really impact your camping experience, and you can't really camp in mud, or you can, but it sucks. So
yeah, this is the truth.
I'll take dust. Fortunately, I have pretty much gotten over my dust cough.
Oh God.
Yeah, back to just regular spring allergies. Dealing with now. But I'm here actually. I'm here in Denver, Colorado right now. I will be attending my first JRAD show tonight, and I am so excited. I don't know what you're talking about, Ryan. That there's no photo shoot.
I don't know if there is. Yes, you're in Colorado. This is super exciting. And you get a week of amazing music, right?
Yeah.
We're not just out here for Goose. You're doing things other than Goose. Everybody says you're like a one-trick pony.
I'm seeing 6 shows, and only one of them is members of Goose. So tonight I'm seeing JRAD. Tomorrow night I'm seeing JRAD. Wednesday I'm seeing King Gizzard. And then the Trey Trio next Friday and Saturday. And then Arevalo next Sunday.
2 nights of Trey Trio.
2 nights of Trey Trio. Oh, yeah. That's I'm saying this on the Goose podcast, but that takes priority over Arevalo.
I think you're making the wrong call. You're going to miss that debut of Not Alone.
I really hope. I was saying to Haps today, I really hope that they play it on Sunday.
I hope you get burned because you're making the wrong choice. But I mean, maybe not.
Neil, you know what? Regardless of when they play it, the pod gets results. That's what we.
I don't know about the pod gets results. I mean, we joke about that all the time, but I feel like this was
good authority that in this case the pod gets results. Okay. Anyway, last night Goose played their first show in Mississippi ever at the Cathead Jam in Jackson. I would just like to give a huge shout out to Browell for streaming the show for us last night. Thank you so much for running the Mixlr. It sounded great. He was going to come on the pod today, but he is making the probably correct choice to go see Daniel Donato at Cathead Jam instead of coming on and talking about Goose with us, which makes sense.
I would have done that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had the opportunity to see Daniel Donato, I would have done that.
Yeah, it's a better idea to go see another show than to talk about last night's show if you have the option to.
Well, but specifically Daniel Donato. Heck of a show.
I'm looking forward to seeing him for the first time at Peach. That'll be fun.
I have a list of like 100 things that I'm looking forward to seeing for the first time at Peach. I mean, it's funny. I've been like dreaming about it, which is bizarre. Like I just have like Peach dreams.
Interesting.
Because there's all these bands I'm like really stoked to see. I think that lineup is so incredibly strong. Not to get off track here, but like it was almost as though like I sat down and made a list of like bands I really, really wanted to see, and there they all are. Of course, they're all going to conflict with each other, and I'm probably only going to see like 3 bands the whole weekend. But
hey,
that's my luck.
We're going to see Goose, and it's Thank you, Haps. Haps says, "Nice house." It is a very nice house. Thank you, Haps. This is actually Haps's house. He's right over there. He just doesn't want to be on the pod.
We'll get him on. I thought it was going to be like a couple minutes before we got him on, but there he is.
No, he moves quick. He moves quick. All right, let's dive into last night's show here. We are here for a reason beyond shooting the shit. But
sure
okay, fair. We like shooting the shit.
Yeah.
But we also have to talk about this show.
We do.
I am really excited to talk about certain aspects of this show.
Me too. There's a lot to be excited about this show. Festival sets I'm not usually stoked to sit down and talk about them. Yeah, but I am stoked to talk about this one.
It also helps being 2 sets, gives the band a little more freedom to play some of the hits while also stretching out a little bit more on some jams, which we've seen with this and Summer Camp. First set ending up being mostly, at least, in last night's case, mostly standard playing, playing the hits, so to speak. And then later on in the show, getting into a little more jamming and extended improv, if you will.
Yes, sir.
So we dive in, going to kind of lump in the first large chunk of the first set here. Atlas Dogs, All I Need, Rockdale, Bob Don, Flowdown. Again, solid play. This All I Need is pretty nice 11 minutes. Really gets a lot done. Nice little minor key playing in here. But nothing crazy. Just an enjoyable listen for a shorter version. And then otherwise, first set, having fun.
Yeah, it was just a good first set. I think it was all pretty well executed. Flowdown in a weird spot, Rockdale in a weird spot. Like I thought that was strange.
Yeah, mid first set. Yeah. But we've been seeing mostly in second sets this year so far.
Right, and then just Bob Dunn in general in a fest set. Like, do it.
Bob Dunn in general.
That was a surprise. And
to everyone but Kev. Kev saw that.
Yeah, he did see that coming. But yeah, overall decent first set. I think when you're talking about festival shows, it can go any number of ways, and you get a couple shorter versions, and that's kind of a bummer. It feels like you empty the tank a little bit. You get an All I Need without a jam, really. Like then you're like kind of disappointed. But overall, I'd just take All I Need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
especially going into a festival set. I have festival set expectations, and so kind of meeting the expectations for the first bunch of this set, especially playing for the first time in Mississippi. You don't know how much of the audience has seen Goose before or is familiar with them. So, it's one thing playing a festival in Massachusetts where, it's a pretty fair assumption that a large chunk of the crowd is familiar with Goose and has seen Goose before. Mississippi is a completely different story because it's a much lower concentration of Goose fans in that area of the country, it seems.
Yeah, well, they've never played there.
Correct.
So they couldn't cultivate a local kind of following unless those folks went out of their way to do it.
Yeah.
And go and see them. So
you never know. Goose fans are pretty psychotic sometimes. So
yeah, well, if they do travel far, I'm sure there are plenty of people who made their way to Mississippi for the show. I think that might be the only reason I would ever go to Mississippi. Is to go see maybe Goose, maybe Fish. But I don't think Fish plays Mississippi either. So who knows?
Yeah, and if they did, it would probably be in the summer, which is not when.
Not when you want to be there.
Anyway, let's talk about this tumble because I want to talk about this tumble because this is a really good tumble. Tumble has been excellent this year. It has been. I was talking about this with Haps earlier as we were re-listening to it. Last year, tumbles kind of, with a few exceptions, I feel like they weren't as standout for a lot of the times. You had stuff like Cleveland, which was cool, long, but not really super memorable. There was Peach, which Neil, really loves. And there was Fayetteville, which is phenomenal.
Very good tumble.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm missing any, but I feel like other than that last year, and Tempe. But for the most
yeah.
last year,
wow, that was last year. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Tempe tumble. It's a great one though.
Yeah,
check it out.
So for the most part last year, they played it a lot, but there weren't as many memorable versions happening. And I feel like the last couple of versions, especially, we had this incredible New Orleans one. We had this one last night. The Ryman one is excellent. The St. Paul one with the loose ends, nice and long. So this one last night is amazing. Peter is the star of this jam to me. All of the many different keyboard tones that he's doing. We get some nice guitar early on before he switches. And he's using this kind of more like janky piano sound. Like it's not a grand piano. It's more of an upright. It's hard to describe. But you hear it. It's like it's a different piano sound than he normally uses. Kind of starts playing around with this riff. We get some reverse delay, vintage vibe textures. So that's that weird shit that starts happening. That's backwards vintage vibe. We could not hear that on the Mixler last night. And so throwing that on the soundboard this morning and hearing that come in, I was walking through the airport and I was like, woo!
Nice. Yeah, lucky you. You got boards right before your flight.
Oh my God. I woke up this morning, the boards were up. I listened to the Redbird on the way to the airport, to validate this That's All tease that Peter
that was your first choice out of all the things you could have done with the show.
Well,
you went
I
after
heard
the That's All
last night. I went to bed at set break and I knew okay, there's a tease.
Tumble's good.
Yeah, and I was like, I need to make the set list graphic and post it for elgoose.net. And I was like, okay, gonna go and listen to see if this tease is real. So
it is real. We'll get that, but it is very, very real. Tumble. Yeah, I mean, this tumble's fantastic. We got 2 in a row here, right? If you think back to New Orleans, and then this one. I mean, me, I love tumble. I can't get enough of the dang song. There was a while there where I was kind of exhausted with tumble, and I guess that was last year when it's just like they play it and you'd be like, yeah, here we go, like another tumble, and it just like heard so many tumbles. But now it just seems every time they play it, it's amazing. It's so great, and the jam is always good. Even the more pedestrian versions of tumble are still very, very, very good. Mm-hmm. And these last 2 versions are awesome. This one, I think I have yet to kind of listen to them both back to back, but I like this one more than the one from New Orleans.
So you're saying that this would be the new GOAT tumble, in your opinion?
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought we had pretty consensus agreed that New Orleans was the new GOAT.
I don't know. I mean,
this one doesn't have aardvark.
It's no peach tumble. The aardvark thing is out of control. I mean, it's good. I don't know. It's not like an all-timer, the one from New Orleans. It's got some interesting spaces that it goes to, but I don't know. I just really enjoyed this tumble last night, I need to listen to it some more.
I wish B could be on the pod today just so I could see the look on his face as you said that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I often say things that make him angry, so
yeah,
it is what it is.
Anyway, yeah, this tumble, just really amazing keyboard work from Peter. That is the standout here. Again, get a little siren action in there towards the end, but just an excellent jam and a surprise too, because based on the set times, like it was super weird the timings of the sets last night. Like set 1 was supposed to start at 8:40, then they came on stage at 8:40, and then it seemed like they needed to sound check everything, and so they were on stage for like 15 minutes before they played a note.
Yeah, which is very strange. I'm actually curious to see if there's any footage that gets released or what happened there, so we can figure out what exactly went down. But they definitely seemed like they were trying really hard to get going and just couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, Peter didn't put anything in the show notes about it. Like, there were technical difficulties before the set. So, maybe something to do with the festival. Like it sounded like, they needed to just make sure everything was working. So, but it was weird. Like second set was only like 45 minutes long or so, right?
I did not look at times, but it felt incredibly short.
I think it was only like 45 minutes or so, just based on my eyeball math of the set times, which is weird. You have set 1 slated to start at 8:40, and then set 2 slated to start at, what was it, 10:05?
Yeah, and they missed that by a mile, which is probably why the set was so short, because they
No,
needed
but even then, like, if you're starting a set at 8:40 and you're going to play for an hour, I guess you're going to play for an hour and then take a 20-minute break and then play for another hour. Like, what time did it end? 11:30 local?
I don't know. I don't remember what time it ended exactly, but I mean, probably that sounds about right.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
So interesting set times for a festival, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the vibe I got was that was not a tight ship they were running there at that festival.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like probably they got on stage late because they had to pull all the other stuff off, and they had to put all their stuff on, and then they're basically sound checking as their set is starting, right?
Right.
And then they ran long on the set, definitely very long. And then they went and took a break. And you would expect a festival to have very regimented times when you're doing things, but that definitely was not happening last night. And I don't think that was Goose. I think it's just the way the festival was being run.
Yeah, it's also it looked like a very small festival. So, you know, not as crazy of an infrastructure as something like summer camp, where, you know, everyone sound checks throughout the day and then it's very quick turnover, and it's easy to get things going. What's also interesting for the set time, the written set list, which appeared in one of the pictures the band posted just like an hour or two ago. Tumble was supposed to be the encore. So both sets played out exactly as they were supposed to, except for Tumble being moved from the encore to the end of the first set. I personally am very okay with that, you know, based on what we got out of that Tumble, you know, short second set, whatever, still got a great jam in there. But I'm very, very pleased with the decision to move the Tumble to the first set, which resulted in that incredible jam.
Well, I mean, yeah, they found inspiration in that Tumble, and it carried over into the second set for sure.
Yeah. This is good. Second set here. Let's dive in. We get another jamless drive.
They're fine. We'll dig into that, but I mean, do you want to just go?
Fine. I mean, okay, we've dug into it plenty. You know, if people haven't heard our spring tour leg 2 recap, we talk about jamless drives a lot and what we think of them in that episode.
Yeah,
it's a long episode, but you know, we talk about them a lot because they played a bunch.
They did play a lot of jamless drives. You get another one. Hey, it smokes. It's like kind of makes you sad because you know what drive has done in the past.
Yeah, that's what I've always saying. But it's still it's great as a 7 minutes. If Drive debuted like this, I'd be like, hell yeah, this song rocks. But since Drive spent so many years as like a incredible long jam vehicle, it's like,
yeah. You think about Buffalo 19. You know, we were just talking about Buffalo 19.
I was thinking more of like, you know, Bingo Tour, Cap, DC.
Yeah. But you know, it's on the topic of Buffalo 19, a 30-minute drive versus this.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Right.
And I guess that's what breaks my heart about the jamless drives, is that when I really got into this band, what hooked me was that version we were talking about just the other day, that version of Drive. Incredible. And so that's just what your expectation is, that you're getting those huge jams, but it's still cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we move into the Redbird here, which does have the "That's All" teases in them. This is another one.
Wait, so you're saying this is a tease? We're agreeing here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Tease. What happens is Rick is doing the same thing that he did in the summer camp Thatch, where he's like CCPing it like crazy. Yeah. And then Peter, like, I feel like I'm just imagining Peter playing and going nuts like I do. Like, Rick is so close to playing the goddamn riff, but he's not playing it. And so I just imagine Peter being like, okay, buddy, like, I'm going to play it if you're not going to. And then he's the one that plays it.
He plays those last few notes, and then that's when it really kicks in. Yeah, and pretty much the whole band is on it at that point. Yeah. I mean, this is not the first time they've done That's All. You can go back. I can't remember the jam last year, but that theme pops up in a lot of places. So it's cool that they're finding it.
Has it been officially noted elsewhere?
Yeah, I never really thought about teases so much until we started talking about a lot lately. It's, you know, it's a hot topic these days. Teases. It is. But yeah, this one, I mean, this is otherwise a really awesome Redbird too.
Yeah.
I mean,
rhythm driven, like the Warfield version.
Yeah. I mean, Peter in this one was just absolutely driving it percussively, and it's I use that word right. Yeah, no, I thought it sounded great. I thought the drums sounded amazing.
Yeah.
I tweeted a couple times about the drums last night, and the Mixler actually is really interesting because for a Mixler, it was surprisingly clear with the drums.
Yeah.
Like you could hear the kick drum clear as a bell. You could hear the hi-hat clear as a bell. So I spent a good chunk of this Redbird just listening in on the drums and focusing on that. And it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's again, that the Spuds and Jeff, you know, it's year of the rhythm section, you know, we're saying year of Big T, but it's year of the rhythm section. These prominently rhythm-based jams are so cool because it's not just Rick leading and shredding everywhere. You know, there is some serious Rick shred in this jam, but it doesn't feel like every other Rick shred jam we've heard before because of how prominent the drums are, and it's awesome. More of this.
Yes, please. Yeah, you know what they say: jam band is only as good as their drummer, and I mean these drummers are ridiculously good, and it makes the music very, very good.
Hell yeah, it does. Next up, we get a nice segue into In Your Eyes. That's a full arrow for those of you.
Oh, that's a very full arrow. Yeah.
It was great. I love seeing this song pop up again too. Third time this year already.
Yeah, and every time it jams too.
Yeah,
right? That's the really exciting thing about this. And every time they have jammed the song, it has sounded amazing. If you think all the way back to its debut at Sculpture Park.
That was not its debut.
It was not its debut? I thought it was.
No, it was played at Bingo Tour and in Waynesville in 2020.
Yeah, you're right.
I saw you as soon as you said its debut. I was waiting for you to say at Sculpture Park so I could correct you.
That's funny. I completely forgot about the. Oh man. Well, in any case,
attendance bias.
Yeah, I did not go to Sculpture Park.
No, you basically did though.
I skipped that one. I don't know why I did. In retrospect, that was like such a poor choice.
Yeah.
But I can't believe I forgot about the Bingo Tour version. But in any case,
thank you, June Atkin, for agreeing with everything that we say about the drums.
It's true. And hey, well, we're talking about this. This is a segue into In Your Eyes. The way that the hi-hat kind of melts in on this.
That's a nice segue.
Yeah, I mean, funny that I was focusing in on the drums and then this happened. And then it almost sounded, I don't know. It didn't sound like they were going to play In Your Eyes. It sounded like they were going somewhere else entirely with it. It actually sounded like very Fishman-esque, which I don't ever think that when I listen to Ben's playing at all.
Interesting.
So go back and listen to that. It sounded like maybe you could like start getting into, you know, the intro to like David Bowie or something for a minute there. But
all right.
Check it out.
All right there. All right.
All right. But yes, In Your Eyes, awesome.
Yeah. On the shorter side, but this song, the jams they get to, again, this is very rhythmic. This reminds me of a little bit kind of like a junior version of the Seattle one, which was very drums and percussion driven. So another great jam, continuing the flow of this pretty great set. Yeah.
I mean, it just keeps going.
Like if you're getting like, first of all, as a second set on paper, regardless of length, this is an awesome set. Like Drive, Redbird, In Your Eyes, Western Sun, Empress. That's a great set. And executing that in 45 minutes at a festival, like they did really well with it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Empress Topper on the end, you know, shocker. It was going to be Empress or it was going to be Hot Tea, right?
Yeah.
You were going to get one or the other. And
hey, just means we're getting Hot Tea tonight.
Yeah. Or, you know,
or tomorrow, or both.
Or tomorrow. Like it's festival season. So the question is, where do you place your hot teas, animals, and empresses? So I feel like they're all in the same bucket for these, and sometimes you get them all in the same show.
Yeah, so, anything can happen. It's festival season.
It is fest season.
Yeah. So we don't know tonight. Goose is playing a little bit earlier. Chattanooga, Tennessee, Riverbend Festival. They are only playing for an hour, I believe, tonight. They have a shorter set, smaller stage, and we don't know as of right now if there's going to be a stream. Hopefully, Peter gets us those fourths again tonight. and we can come here and talk about a 1 hour set tomorrow. That might be a very quick hit episode.
Yeah, just like, I mean, might as well just like record us like talking on the phone or something about it.
Like, hey, wow, that hot tea was great.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you want to do the show now? We can talk about the hot tea now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then get it out of the way.
Ryan Molnar, thank you. It's 7:30 to 9 tonight. Is Chattanooga in Eastern time?
I believe so. That's what I've heard so far today. Jive was saying this morning that he's going to be 2 hours behind the show. So
it is, yeah.
That does sound right.
Awesome. So it is 7:30 to 9 Eastern tonight. Hopefully somebody streams. If not, we will get to listen to it tomorrow. There's going to be a nice animal, a nice hot tea, nice drip field, maybe nice Arcadia.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get the hits today.
We all know what happened the last time they played a festival in the state of Tennessee.
What happened last time? Oh, Beale Street. Oh, well, I was going to bring that up earlier too. I think Beale Street actually is what set the expectations for festival sets. When Beale Street happened, we were like, "Oh my god, festival sets are the worst thing ever," because that Beale Street show is not good. It is not good at all.
No,
but they've consistently proven that was a one-off thing. I mean, I think a little bit later, like Thing was kind of not so great, but.
There's a difference between Beale Street and Thing.
Yes.
Beale Street had an 8-minute All I Need.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it had a very short version of everything.
And also like an 8-minute Arcadia.
Yeah. But, hey, short Arcadias are not necessarily bad.
Okay,
I give you Peach as an example.
2019 here?
Yeah. But, anyway. Yeah, I mean, big stuff happening today,
Okay. Ryan Molnar's got a point. That is not the last time they played a festival in Tennessee. They did play at Bonnaroo last year, which I keep forgetting about.
I'm glad somebody's fact-checking Ryan, because Ryan's been fact-checking me all episode. Listen, you, Molnar, for that.
You guys come prepared. Ryan Molnar is prepared. You clearly are not prepared.
I don't. Yeah, that's funny. It's funny that you've never corrected me on the In Your Eyes thing before, because I think I've said that before.
Have you really?
I have, and I don't know how I got that in my head.
That's like
especially because of bingo. Like version. That's what makes it like so unforgivable.
Well, that's the first really prominent version. I feel like Bingo Tour and Waynesville were both like in 2020. Like we were all still noobs then.
Yes, that was
except
very much
Brian.
Well, Brian had been listening to the band for years. I had just been kind of.
Brian's been listening to them since like 2009. Like he's way ahead of the curve.
Well, I mean, hey, when you're as old as he is, you get on it early.
It's true. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into today's Day After show. We will see you right back here tomorrow, probably for a let's call it an 8-minute episode. We may find some other things to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about this J-Rad show I'm seeing tonight. Who knows? But we'll be back here tomorrow at 3:30. Yes, sorry. Michael Schwartz is asking, did Ryan remember to call / text when he landed? Yes, I sent a text as soon as I landed.
So are we getting updates about the shows that you're seeing this week when we do the Day After shows? I feel like we need
Well, we only have 2 Day After shows after today. And then we don't have
we get the 2. So the question is, do we get an update on J-Rad?
Sure.
And everything. Great. Sure. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
There will be no talks of bathrooms at Red Rocks, but
no, I have no desire to talk about the bathroom. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day and rest of your weekend. And we will probably see you back here tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern.